What is up? Happy Sunday Fun Day. Welcome into the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. I am one half of your host and virtual bartender, Mr. Nick Teodoro. Joining me, as always, is my tag team partner in life, my wife, Miss Nicole. Nicole, what are you having this afternoon, evening?
Ooh, our normal happy hour time, so.
Yeah, I know.
But you know me, I'm drinking Tito's orange and cranberry juice. Mr. Nick, what are you drinking? And our three things for the show.
I am drinking my Cabernet, as usual, 7 Oaks Cabernet, if to be specific. Well, CM Punk regains his bracelet, the Terror Twins got some revenge, and Gunther retained his World Heavyweight title. It is Sunday, September 1st, 2024. This is the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. Welcome back in, everybody. Happy Sunday Fun Day. It is a very special Sunday, as we always come to you after the WWE PLEs, specifically Bash in Berlin, which emanated from Berlin yesterday, with the opening contest being Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. But there's a lot to get to. Before we get to the Nikki, what were your overall thoughts on this PLE from Germany? Very Dr. Seussy.
Oh boy. I really enjoyed these overseas PLEs. God, starting at 1 o'clock is just so beautiful, and it was done by 4. And when I watched the press conference, it was a weird press conference, but the thing afterwards. But I just love the timing. I love the time so much. But the pay-per-view itself, I liked the latter half of the card and the matches. I feel like we kind of built up throughout the show. Not taking away anything from Cody and KO or the women's tag, but I feel like the latter half of the card.
It felt very much like an old school WWE PLE, WWF PLE, like Attitude Era. Again, it's a CCO, Triple H's stamp on everything, right? That's kind of how I feel about it. It was just a very every match. Obviously the main event was had a very old school feel to it, just kind of a couple months back with Cody AJ Styles. Everything while some of the matches, most of it for us was somewhat predictable. The build up was well done. I don't know, it was a lot of great storytelling, working on the knee, working on different areas, right? And that's what I really like about it. That's the old school way of booking, So, ultimately, I thought it was another strong PLE.
Obviously, there was 2 stipulations. Obviously, the mixed tag match and the strap match, but it did every match had a different feel to it, and obviously a different story being told. I don't know. I think obviously WWE's been hitting it out of the park lately, and I think this is another feather in their cap.
No, for sure. So we both very much thoroughly enjoyed it, but if you didn't get to catch it, we got a few of the images from yesterday's PLE, so let's catch you up on some of the key moments. lot to get through, a lot of takeaways for the PLE, but we start with the WWE Championship. Undisputed. I call this still the WWE. Still WWE Championship.
WWE.
Damn it.
I have to bust your chops.
So, take us through, Nikki, your overall thoughts on the Cody Rhodes defending against Kevin Owens.
This was another kind of similar with Ospreay and AEW. It's the will they, won't they, are they going to do the bad thing? Are they going to do the thing? Because like on SmackDown, KO had brought up that the rumor was that Cody tweaked his knee on the house show loop that they were just on. It was more like Vienna. I guess it was more Vienna, Austria than Germany. But anywho's, but the rumor was like, oh, I know your knee's messed up. And then, of course, Cody denied. And then you get to the match and he goes to do off the top rope cutter. And then he's like, oh, my knee. And then doing his best Rey Mysterio impression, my knee. Then KO freezes. Like, oh, I don't, because then at this point, Cody's kind of in the corner and then KO's like, I don't know what to do. And then Cody rolled out and then KO kind of came out and Cody's yelling like, I'm fine, stop. He's like, I'm fine. And then KO kicks his knee and then he's like, looks like he regrets doing it. And then he goes to do the power bomb that he did to Sami Zayn on the apron. He has Cody in that position, but he doesn't pull the trigger.
There's a lot of so the whole story the last couple of weeks has been because of Grayson Waller and everything else, is that he turns on all his friends. KO is about to turn. It's going to happen. So ultimately, what's going to happen when he turns on Cody. And this throughout this whole match, there were situations where he and throughout the weeks leading up, he would have moments where he could have attacked Cody, the old KO, whatever you want to call it, and he didn't. And now it's gotten to the point where now the match is boiled over. It starts friendly-ish, and then that's again the storytelling of the build-up, and even the beginning, KO gets introduced. He's just stone-faced in the corner,
sitting on the turnbuckle.
And the one thing I thought of throughout this whole match, and even in the beginning, and this is kind of my question, was KO more over than Cody in this whole match?
Oh, I thought that. When they first came out, because obviously KO came out first, and then Cody comes out, to me, the pop sounded louder for KO, but I don't know if it's because they just yell, and with Cody, they're singing the song. But when they first came out, to me, KO sounded louder, and there was a lot of Cody KO stuff.
Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah, they went back and forth at one point in time, but to me, I don't know if it's just the typical we're gonna cheer the heel, even though he's not the heel, but we're gonna cheer the underdog, so to speak. But it was just interesting.
And it's just it's so crazy to me because they're like, oh, he hasn't. It's been almost 7 years to the date of obviously Finn Balor got hurt, and then they were doing. It wasn't a tournament or whatever match it was, but basically Triple H helped KO win the belt, and then he felt like it was tainted, and it was 2017. I was and they're whatever year. I'm oh my god, it's so long ago. I forgot that Triple H helped him win the belt. He didn't want this to be tainted or So it's just crazy, but KO, I forget sometimes or take for granted how good KO is, how good he is in the ring. He did that that I don't know what they called it. It was kind of sort of that Michinoku driver, but he drops Cody on his knee.
Oh yeah. It's it's like a neck break. It's kind of like AJ's neck breaker.
Yeah, and then he did the avalanche Superman fisherman suplex off the top rope. And then he does.
Yes, yeah. They called it a brain buster.
Yeah, and then
which doesn't seem too friendly to me in a friendly match.
Then the rolling senton off the top rope. It's just he's so good, and it's just I can't believe he hasn't had a belt in so long. And I'm I know you're not gonna win, but it's I forget how flipping good he is.
Yeah, no, he's phenomenal. He's a cagey veteran, but So we get through the match. He focuses for a hot minute, like you said, on the knee.
Yeah.
Ultimately, his hesitance to go for the knee cost him.
Mhm.
And I don't think I have the shot of it here. But ironically, Cody puts up his knees on a senton.
Yeah.
So his injured knee, which ultimately sets up the just one crossroads
Yeah, he
to
didn't
put
hit the
away.
I know, I was debating about that because he did hit a crossroads earlier that he kicked out of. No, it's like no. He hits the stunner.
Oh, no, he
kicks
did kick
out.
off a one.
It's
Yeah.
2 crossroads, then another stunner, kick out. Then he goes to do the senton. Cody puts up his knees, then does 1 crossroad, and then the 1-2.
It's because he's been doing the triplets
Yeah.
this whole time, and it just seemed weird that he wasn't doing it. So my question is, was this a weak finish to the KO Cody Rhodes match?
I guess that's the thing. It's like lately he's been doing the 3. And I feel like maybe a lot of people have just been doing their moves in 3s at this point.
Really?
Like the 3 Amigos, the 3 Germans, like he's been doing the 3 crossroads. But he needed 3 to take out Roman. Like I guess you're not putting KO up on that Roman echelon.
But didn't he just do 3 against like AJ?
Or how many did he do with Logan?
I think it was 3 with Logan too. Or maybe
I don't know.
That's a good question.
But
I have to look back.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it was a good match, and I love the both of them. But I just like his KO's good spots, and you have Cody doing the classics, and it's just like it's a good match. Am I super crazy impressed?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because like good match. I would probably give it like 3 out of 5. Like it's good, but it's just like I don't know. We have to again because after this, like you can see KO is mad. They do hug. He raised Cody's hand. Cody goes to raise KO's hand, and he's like, no. But like the look on his face, and he pushed the cameraman away. So I said it on Friday. Like it would be weird to have this, and then we have to wait a week to see what KO is gonna do.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if you're gonna turn on him a week later, are you gonna stew? I don't know. Maybe I just wanted him to turn heel and have that big But I guess you're not gonna leave. I guess you're not gonna leave Cody laying at the end of the match on a PLE. Like, unless
no, I mean it could kick off the show in a
I don't know
surprising way, especially because we'll get to the end, but the ending was what we kind of thought. Like not a lot of people with Orton, but we will get to that match.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Javier's coming. Hey Javier, what's going on? Welcome in.
So I don't know.
We're talking Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes right now.
Like good, but I don't know.
Yeah, it was somewhat. I've been using this word too much.
Yeah,
anticlimactic.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. It's like good match, lame finish. Kind of leaves you wanting. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point. I just think, I that's kind of my thing. Is like I just felt like there could have been more, a little bit more dramatic. Now, are they going to run it back and do another match, or is this it for?
Yeah, I don't know. Just KO's on such a losing streak, It's like,
It's going to be interesting to see exactly where they go with him from here. Just because I don't like what I guess the bloodline's still kind of looming.
Yeah.
But
Solo said on SmackDown that he gets the winner of this match. So is he going we're back to Solo?
Well, because of the Roman thing, he's always going to be involved around the belt because Roman's going to come back to the title eventually in some form or fashion, I think. So it'll be really interesting. But want to hear from all you. What did you think of Cody KO? Was it a solid match? Was it what you expected? Did you want to see more?
They did. Wade did call him the prize fighter on commentary.
He says, "Yeah, he did. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be the prize fighter again in tournament." Yeah, I mean, he should. I mean, I always liked that character, like just the way that he came up and everything else. Like, he has a lot to
Just so good.
offer. Yeah, like
face, heel, in between these.
That's
Like, that's what you were saying before. I just think he's one of those people. Again, heel or face, he's getting cheered.
No, for sure. So we move along to someone who also gets cheered all the time. The Women's Tag Team Championship match, Bianca Belair and my girl Jade Cargill, where ultimately we crown new Women's Tag Team champion.
Two-time.
So, Nikki, your takeaways from this?
Well, I called this. I know that was like we wanted to debate one match, and again, I think this is your Mania match. You have to give them a thing to break them up. I'm just worried. It feels a little formulaic, and we know the spots. Like, Bianca's gonna come out strong. She's gonna, even though it's beautiful and impressive, her vertical suplex when she marches around the ring with them. Then the baddies are gonna beat her down until she miraculously gets over to Jade. Jade does her clotheslines, then her stinger splashes, and then they do, which I don't think it looked super great, their wheelbarrow finisher thingy. I just feel like it took a long time to set up, and once they did it, it went very slowly. Again, I liked them a lot. It's just, I don't know. This match, I think we were talking that Alba Fire looked great, and she was a great NXT UK Women's Champion back when she was Kaylee Ray. I want more for them. I feel like they looked really good, and again, like, they're the tag team. They kept telling me they've been friends for 10 years. They're both from Scotland. They traveled all over the world together. Then, like, they're getting beat by this team that just got together.
Yeah, well, so you kind of touched on it with my question. I said this to you last. Like, it seemed like every spot Alba Fire was in the whole match, and I don't know if she was like, because she's a veteran, she was like carrying it, like, but my question is Alba Fire ready for a singles breakout candidate? Is she ready for a run? Like, because I thought that this tag team was booked very poorly as a women's tag team champion group, which again, they haven't booked the belts great at all. I don't think you really should have taken the belts off of Jade and Bianca anyway if you're going to do this for just
to get the pop in Scotland.
Yeah. But it seemed like she did a lot of the work, and the beating was taken by Isla this whole match. So I wonder if it's going to lead to something for, and because again, WWE is always a singles based company, so they're looking for single stars. And
not that I want more belts, because I think there's way too many across both promotions, but I feel like that mid-card women's championship, like they have an NXT, that North American Women's Championship, like, May needs that. Like, that's something I feel like, because right now she's not going to be in the title picture.
Yeah, right.
Like she'd be like a great mid-card champion, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, if they had,
and that's the problem with the women's division, that the story's about the belts, and then that's it. There's not a lot of other storylines going on that doesn't revolve around the belt. Like, you have Nia, Bayley, and now Tippy has the briefcase. And then Meechin, they had that. Meechin just snuck right in there. But I think,
because they just wanted her to take a beating.
Well, yeah, and I think you have your utility players for that, 100%. But it's like that's that card, and then it's like obviously Rhea Liv on the other side. Like, she's not. Yeah,
I'm not sure. I mean,
and
Javier disagrees with my thing. He thinks that they're doing fine together as unholy union. I mean, yeah, they were great. They surprised me because, again, I didn't watch much of their NXT run. So they surprised me what they've been doing, and when they gave them some opponents where, like, hey, we're going to put you over, hit all your spots, they look great.
Yeah, but not given the time to show anything.
Exactly, and that's what just kind of, well, I guess maybe is that overall? Is that always the
Yeah,
like?
I said you need to give them like poor Dakota Kai was crying, and she just give me a chance and I can show you that I'm good, that I can do something. And I feel like there's not enough time. Like I'd rather see the women's tags do something than whatever they're doing with Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews. I forgot they were a thing. Even though we were doing good on SmackDown a couple weeks ago or whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, I still forget you guys are a thing. Like, I rather than stick the women, like do something else with the women. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, there is spots that just fill up. Now they have the women's speed. Did you hear about it?
Yeah.
So
I didn't watch the men's one. I'm not gonna watch.
That would be interesting. But yeah, I think overall, I don't know if they're just. My concern too is like, did they think Jade would be further along?
That's what I'm also worried about.
Yeah, and that they're just going to kind of keep this program delayed until they feel just right. I don't know. It worries me. It worries me that. But again, you can that's the beauty of WWE booking. You can take time. You don't need to throw Roman Reigns took forever. They protected him for years.
Yeah. I don't know. Like again, fine match. I'm glad that was on the card. But again, I didn't feel any different from when they first won the belts. It's like the same match.
Yeah, really. I mean, I just think that they, at least in this case, they looked decently. I mean, Isla, I think they looked stronger than their opponents. I don't know. It was tough because, I love it. It's tough to book when you have. It's like, actually, when I think about it now, like early 1990s, we were talking about. I almost called them Thunder and Lightning. Why did I do that? Natural disasters. But how did you book all those big guys in the David? I guess everything was David and Goliath stuff. But sometimes it gets really hard when you have because Jade's 6'3".
I don't trust you in people's heights anymore.
But she's tall.
Is 8'9".
I'm using the European calculation system.
Yeah, no, agreed.
But they're so much bigger. They're just we're bigger and muscular. I don't know. It's tough to book some of that stuff. Like Braun Strowman, it's tough sometimes to book them, or Big Show over the years. Tough to book some of those matches. You have to find creative ways to bring them down. Like Bret Hart, when you'd have those matches with Kevin Nash, he'd work the knees for the whole match, and it would kill you to watch it every while. But hey, it's storytelling. That's ultimately what it is. So, but overall, decent match. But again, I was upset. Nikki was correct on this, which is basically this was the turning point in our picks, which led towards Nikki actually being the champion for this time.
I also called the match order as well. The card order.
All right. Well, here you go. Just for you.
Thanks.
Javier says he thinks they hit the wall with Jade. I hope not. Because I think there's a lot of money to be made with Jade.
She just, again, it's the chip in my mantra now, chip in a chair. It's just she needs to get the reps in. I hope she's at the PC a lot, and I hope she's learning from Bianca and Naomi and stuff. But she just still very, she's wearing green and has green hair, but she's very green, very green.
You did that on purpose. But I don't know. We'll see. There's still time. I still have high hopes and high expectations. But we move on. We go from someone who is green to a very, very not green match. The big rivalry match of, one of the two big rivalry matches of the pay-per-view, where we see CM Punk and Drew McIntyre get it on a strap match. As I like to call it, Bound in Berlin.
Bound for Glory?
No, Bound in Berlin, because they're. So, again, if you missed it, this is Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, Bound in Berlin.
lightning all around me. I remember each flash as time began to blur, like a startling sight that fate had finally found me. And your voice was all I heard. Did I get what I deserve? So give me reason.
Just before the chorus.
Ugh,
I know, I
right.
had to kill it. So, CM Punk gets back his bracelet. Nikki, your takeaways from Bound in Berlin.
This was a fun one. This is the step up, the pickup that like swung us into the rest of the pay-per-view. Drew coming out with some new gear and some like
He reminds me of the Deep. Is that bad?
yes,
From
it's bad.
the boys.
No, I'm not gonna be able to unsee that. No. And Punk also wore his gear from All In 2023. So that was a fun little Easter egg for eagle-eyed people. But Michael Cole was going crazy in this match as well. So obviously Punk comes out and he's he's standing on the apron and he does his thing, and then Drew hits him from behind, and Cole's like, "That hypocrite!" But then,
it started off fast. It was just they didn't even get to start. It was just
when Drew went after him, and then they're brawling on the outside. Drew rips off his shirt. And
it's karma. No, I loved it because that was exactly what had been happening this whole time. Drew made a point of it. That's what needed to happen. Like it was a great, and I know you were talking about this. Like they've been working so closely together, like texting every day for the last X amount of months about this, and that's like exactly what needed to happen. And then obviously the first lashings come from Drew, and Cole said it, but like in my head, I'm like, yeah. Like, he never touched him with the strap the whole time.
Yeah. Again, like I said it on Friday, it's like he's like this justified heel. Again, like, where's the lie? Like, Drew has been justified in this whole thing. So I like that it started off him just coming. And I guess, because that was the critique from the SummerSlam match, that it didn't feel like the grudge match. That this, like, you're talking about my wife and my dog and all this stuff. This was what it needed to be. It started hot and it didn't let up.
Yeah, it was just straight back and forth brutality. And then ultimately, because I asked it on Friday who would bleed, and ultimately
from the Glasgow Kiss.
Yeah, Punk was the one who bleed. Like there were so many you could see. Like even like in the beginning, like he drags like Punk back. Like so. We're talking about this, you kind of touched on it. Like, is CM Punk actually turning heel? Like, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Like him getting like the thing of him getting even like I know it's a strap match, but like him getting dragged in seemed like some of the things just seemed so heelish. That like I don't know.
Wait, I don't understand.
Like just like I don't know, just like so, like I know he was getting his ass kicked, but like it's just like Drew's one up on him. Like Drew's reason to fight him, he's like, I just want to kick his ass. Yeah. And like this whole situation, like he's like, I beat him already. Like he's already down on the ground. Like I don't know, just like I know it's part of the match.
What does it do with turning Punk heel?
I just think that he's done so many heelish things, like you said, like the cowardly attacks, right? Like,
yeah,
he's done it, but like even in the match, it seemed like, granted, he's the smaller guy, but he acted heelish even in.
I would have to disagree with that. I feel like he
not like blatant.
I feel like he's matching all babyface. I'm very confused by it.
I don't know. I got a heelish vibe. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I don't know. But also,
let us know in the comments. Did you get a heelish vibe from Punk? I just feel like I don't know. Even seeing this picture, maybe this picture just
like this picture is not explaining what you want, because at this point he rolled out of the ring to get a breather, and then Drew pulled him and dragged him in. He did it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Punk is doing heelish stuff. Not true.
Because he rolled out to breathe.
He's trying to get away. He's trying to get away. You should want to fight. Fight for that damn bracelet back.
I'm very confused.
He hates him so much. I don't know. I know it's a tactic, but it drove me crazy, because I just think that they should just be.
Also,
it's no DQ. He should have no excuse. Like you can't get space. I don't care.
This is the first pay-per-view that we have not watched together in a while. So our us talking about these matches right now is real.
Hitting the Ropes podcast. welcome to the party. I think Punk and Drew had the match of the night. I agree. Actually, 100% agree. Nikki and I were talking about this before the show and about what is the actual, match of the night. And Nikki has her thoughts. I think this was, for me, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a great match.
Here's interesting. Javier said they can both work heel and they could fit and work well. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah, again, you can have two heels face each other, but I don't know. To me, Punk was very much the face in this.
I like.
He has this bracelet that has his wife's name on it.
So, regardless, the match goes on. It just got it to me. He seemed English, but so Punk eventually sets up a table. I don't know where that is. That's somewhere in here.
Okay.
Well, I'm jumping. All right, no, sorry.
You're very much jumping.
I'm jumping ahead. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
All right, so I guess we're in the ring already. You showed that part. So Drew goes and hits the corners, and he's trying to figure out how it actually works. And apparently, one color is one person, one color is the other person.
Which also that drove me crazy.
I keep forgetting who was what color.
No, it wasn't a color. It was green. It's supposed to go green.
No, it was one was red, one was green. Because when they did that spot, when they both hit through the three corners, both lights were on. I think one was green, one was.
I thought it was just supposed to. No, my understanding was.
No, Michael Cole said it was one person's one color. Because at the one point when Drew puts him through that table, then he pulls him back into the ring. He has Punk on his shoulders.
Do I have any good?
He goes to hit the corner, and then Punk hits the corner, and he goes to the other one, and then he hits it, and Punk hits it.
Yeah, but
both lights are on.
See, I thought it was green because he hits it green because you touched it. It's your momentum. He kept saying your momentum gets stopped.
But the colors, and I think that's why they did it, because of that spot. One was one color. Well, I think like Steven or someone
in the comments is gonna.
One person was good, one person was good, because they had this spot when they hit three of them together, and they were trying to get to that final one, and they were pulling each other back.
Yes.
Yeah. So
but I thought it was just the red is just the momentum being stopped. I thought you had to beat the guy.
Once the momentum stopped and the lights went out.
Yeah, so then wouldn't your momentum have been stopped the way Punk had been beaten down? He has no momentum just because you're slapping a corner. I don't know. That's. Well, what do you all think about this? This is really going to drive me crazy because
Thank you. Javier, my new best friend.
All right. Javier says I'm wrong. All right, fine. But I guess I'm wrong.
Dad is wrong again. But we'll just go, because then after that spot, it goes into he puts on a sharpshooter, and
yes,
Drew taps, and Rob Zapata, the referee, was like, "I can't do anything for you. That means nothing. This is not a normal match. It's not a submission match. To win this match, you have to hit all four corners." And then, oh my god, that's a great picture of Punk. But he taps out, and then basically passes out.
Do you feel like the sharpshooter is kind of an overused move?
Yes. Do you know my feelings about Bret Hart? But I don't know. It's fine. So then Drew passes out. Then Punk goes to hit the corners, and then Drew pulls him out, and he doesn't get the fourth corner, and he hits him with the neck breaker, and then he does a kip up. I was like, how do you just pass out from a sharpshooter?
Yeah, and that's what you say. He's like, you were just a sharpshooter, and now look at him.
I don't know, but I love a good kick up, because I know there's nothing. I would never be able to do that in the history of my life. But seeing someone Drew size do it, it's great. But then he goes into his little chunky trunks and pulls out the bracelet. Then he hits the Claymore, and then goes to hit the three corners, and then Punk gets up, hits the GTS, and this sequence I have made because Nick and I immediately had the same. On our show, on our pay-per-views, we have what is called a Big Nick Energy moment. So we pick our favorite spots or the oh my god moments from the pay-per-view.
Yeah, the holy shit moments that you see on Raw. We do them for the pay-per-views. So each month or each PLE, we will have a Big Nick Energy moment.
And because I graciously gave you my first one. I've made this my big Nick energy moment of the pay-per-view.
So we're going to stamp it.
So basically, he does a GTS touch the rope combination. Hits the GTS, hits the turnbuckle, hits the GTS, hits the turnbuckle, hits the GTS, turnbuckle. Then he, or might have made it said too many, but the last point, he hits the third GTS at that point, gets the bracelet off his wrist, then goes and hits the fourth corner with the bracelet hand. He has won the match. But just doing like he's dragging himself, hitting the corners, but he's just he's so angry with Drew that he has to hit the GTS. And we were like, oh no, that's how he lost the SummerSlam match. He wasn't focused and he was just focused, just inflicting pain. But this, he was like, corner, GTS, Winsky.
Yeah, I think that ultimately, yeah, it was a nicely told story.
Yeah, there's so many other spots that we didn't talk about in this match that it was just like, this was such a good match. And again, we called Punk is going to win. Is this going to lead to the third match at Bad Blood, my WrestleMania? But also, and I don't know if you have this, at the press conference, he did a early interview with Kathy Kelly, and he had said that he's done with Drew.
Oh,
and then
I do have that.
Go eat
so I do have that. So great segue, Nikki. Let me bring that back. It is Kathy Kelly on what is next for CM Punk after his victory.
Ending here in Berlin. So what is next for you?
Well, it's definitely the end of me and Drew McIntyre. What's next for me is I'm going to take a long hot shower. I'm going to try to find some donuts, and I got myself a main event to watch because I'm very interested in the results. Gunther versus Randy Orton, and some people like to say may the best man win, but in this case, may the best man win because the better man is coming for you. I want the gold. I'm coming for you, sucker.
So the question is that the end of Drew versus Punk?
No, I want them in Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood. It's my WrestleMania, damn it. I don't know. I think you have to keep going. Like, if they put a pin in it, I think it's a great ending. But I just feel like they're one apiece. You have to have the
or do you hold it off for a while?
No, it has to be a Bad Blood or not at all.
Javier said, I was thinking for a second he was going to kiss the bracelet when he put on his trunk. He might have.
CM Punk did. When he put it on his wrist, CM Punk kissed it. Everyone, like, I don't know if you were on X or whatever, but they were like, he pulled it out of his pants and then Punk kissed it. And like, your bracelet was in another man's pants and then you kissed them.
Javier says Hell in a Cell. He wants
Bad Blood. And for those who don't know, Bad Blood's on my birthday. So I'm booking it like WrestleMania. I'm like, every match is going to be a huge blow off craziness. But I really want to see this in Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Because again, it's one. They each have one win. You gotta have the blow off.
Yeah, I think logically, it makes the most sense. I think we'd love. Who doesn't love to see good Hell in a Cell? A good Hell in a Cell.
A good Hell in a Cell.
And with Punk, I envision that it would go that way. So, let's see who else is chiming in. Yeah, obviously it has to be the Bad Blood main event.
Yeah, I agree.
Nikki's getting everything for her birthday wish.
I know, that's all I want. All I want for my birthday is a Hell in a Cell.
So, what did you all think? Did you like that match? Do you still? It seems like a lot of people want to see Punk McIntyre 3 inside Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood, or could you wait to Survivor Series for it?
No. Well, you can't do Hell in a Cell. They're having War Games.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Which is basically Hell in a Cell faction. The faction version of Hell in a Cell. So, I don't know. We shall see. So, we move along into what I thought was going to be a little bit later in the evening, or earlier in the evening, but the mixed tag team match. Judgment Day 2.0, Dom Mysterio and Liv Morgan taking on the Terror Twins. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. The Terror Twins get their revenge, Nikki.
Mm-hmm.
What is your thoughts?
Oh, I thought you had a video.
Oh, I do.
I
Well,
was like,
well, they get the revenge. Let's hear it from Rhea Ripley on.
Do the thing.
Yeah.
With this, Rhea Ripley, mommy, how sweet does revenge actually taste?
Oh man, it tastes amazing. Honestly, it feels nice to get a little bit of revenge in this, especially because, like, you know, that's all that Liv Morgan loves to talk about. Revenge to her this, revenge to her that. When is it going to end, huh? Like, it's not even revenge at this point. It's just you being a petty little piece of... You can finish that sentence. And it was about time that mommy got some revenge, and it feels damn sweet.
Mommy gets her revenge. So, Nikki, what is your thoughts on this? I am very opinionated, but I always want to show ladies
This
first.
for me was match of the night. Again, I really love the Punk Drew match, but again, to me, I guess I don't want to say more because they also have their two hottest stories right now in Raw, at least. But I love Rhea Ripley. I love them together. They had matching gear, which made me so happy. I just love them being nipples together. I think it's interesting that also the Dom and Liv came out to Judgment Day music, not his like entrance music or her entrance music. It was like just the Judgment Day one.
Yeah.
And they come into the Terror Twins come into the ring, and Liv and Dom are outside, and like Michael Cole's being crazy person again, screaming that they have to get into the ring and fight or they're just scared. And then Rhea like chop blocks him, or the crotch chop, which I love. But basically the boys start off the match. They're, Dom's being Dom and trying to duck and dive and like get away from Priest, but basically Priest starts unloading in the corner. He hits this crazy flying back elbow. They do the wrist lock that like at one point like Priest turns his hand and like lifts Dom up in the air, which I thought was cool.
Well, Dom's a good wrestler, so you could do it like in a high flyer.
Yeah, so it's just like I thought that was a fun spot. And then the crowd starts chanting "Mommy," and then like she gets. I love that their face kind of turned because she just like her energy is so much instead of her like being the broody. She was just like excited, like wanted to get tagged in. She's like hopping and jumping on the apron, like excited to get in there. But then Dom like pulls away from Priest so he can tag Liv in first. And then Liv goes up to Priest and starts like jaw jacking, and then Priest like puts his hand in her face, and she's like, "What?" And then he like moves over, and then Rhea comes in with the drop.
Yeah, that is a great, like, especially because like, oh, sorry.
No, I'm saying like the timing that these little spots, like the other Monday Night Raw when he grabbed Dom when he's still holding Rhea, and like all these little things that it's just like I'm just gonna turn at the last second, and then here comes Rhea flying in. Like it's just been so good.
Well, it's also like it's funny because it's like it's a mixed tag. That's the rules. Like you're gonna have to get in fight with her. Like what do you think is gonna? But again, it's like it's the stupid heel. How you're saying we need Rhea versus Dom. Yeah, I agree.
I want that match at Bad Blood. But then
oh my, I also love Rhea. He redeeming match. I see the old Rhea. Yeah, I agree.
What was that called?
He wants the old Rhea back.
Like, which one?
It's a good question. You might have to. I thought
like early Judgment Day her, more like on her champion run, more gothic.
Yeah, see, some people are saying that. See, Dominic versus Priest. See, Javier is not interested.
But this is the only match that they're gonna see.
I think Priest and Dom may be a good match. So it's a lot of people are conflicted on it. That's why. Like, so we might be. Well, no, keep going. I don't want to jump ahead because I have some more thoughts. We're going to debate this match very heavily.
Okay.
Go on.
I'm not prepared for this, guys. Drop kick, fall away slam. She does a huge headbutt. Then she gets Rhea up and she does her shimmy. Like she's like making fun of Dom. She blows him a kiss and does the great vertical suplex. And then Liv crawls to Dom. They obviously have to switch out. The boys wrestle. And I love this. I'm quoting Wade Barrett and Michael Cole here because I don't. This is so out of like is Vince back on commentary? Like, so Dom is beating up Priest on the outside. He just throws him into the barricade and then is like rolling him back into the ring. And Wade goes, now Mr. Lover is on top. And Cole's like, who calls him that? And Wade goes, all the women on the planet Earth. And Cole's like, what are you talking about? You're making him sound like Mick Jagger. Like, first, who's quoting Mr. Lover from the 90s? Wait, stop it. And then you're like, oh, he's like, what, Mick Jagger? Like, Mick Jagger's 1,000 years old.
Well, he also, Wade also had a nice comment later. I don't know if it's late in the match or but he's just like, how could you do this to your ex?
Yeah. How could you be so mean? Or, like, how could you do that to your ex? So then we get Priest back in the ring. Dom hits the three amigos, or goes to attempts to do the three amigos. And then Priest turns it into that Falcon Arrow that he does, but he kind of tosses him. I love that spot so much. So then he throws him, and then he goes to tag in Rhea. Then she does the basement drop kick, and she German and running knee to Liv. And this one, Dom gets up. Because he's getting up from the Falcon Arrow. He's still in the ring. So he stands up, and then, Rhea's there. And then he goes to, let's make up. And he kind of, goes to, he's even, hug. And then Rhea kind of sees Liv coming out of the corner of her eye. She hits her with the back elbow. And then she grabs Dom's arm and does a couple of the short arm clotheslines. And then she slams him.
Which is basically what we've been waiting to see.
Right.
Because, she gave him a headbutt on Raw a couple weeks ago, or this week too. So, I feel like, so we've been teased it, but now she finally gets at least
So the short arm clotheslines, then she slams him, and then he's in the corner, and that's when she, almost my Big Nick energy moment, she puts him in the head scissors. It's not.
This is also a spot I thoroughly enjoy with Nikki privately.
Oh, don't be gross.
Nobody.
Don't be gross. So she has him in this for a little bit. And she lets go. Then she does this, she lets go. She's about to put him in the riptide. And of course, then Liv comes and
she doesn't use this as a finisher, though, right?
What?
This choke move, right?
I don't think she's only done it to Dom. It was on Twitter today. There was a picture of her doing it to Dom. Remember when she was trying to seduce Dom and corrupt Dom back then? So it was him in his little baby face, white baby face gear.
Yes.
And then this. So I don't. Again, correct me if I'm wrong down below, but I feel like she's only done this to Dom. But he goes to do the riptide. Liv saves her, hits her. Liv hits Rhea with the code breaker, and then she does. I love this move. She does that crucifix bomb. I think that looks super great.
No, I don't have that one. Or do I? Nope, don't.
No. But then the boys are back in the ring. The kicks, the lariat, the flatliner. He does another clothesline. He goes to pin Dom. Liv breaks that up. And that's when
Shenanigans.
Rhea comes in. And then if you want to say this spot, because it's your moment.
Oh. So then they give the duel.
They do the
Razor's Edge.
They box the ears first.
Yeah, they box the ears.
And then,
but ultimately, what ended up for me being my Big Nick energy moment is a dual Razor's Edge between Rhea and Priest on the Judgment Day. So I'm stamping this one.
Okay, I said, because I watched it live and you watched this later on. What's your Big Nick energy moment? And you're like, oh, the Razor's Edge. I was like, oh, that was mine. So I couldn't text you when I was watching it because you didn't want spoilies. But yeah, great spot. It was so when they did the boxing of the ears and then the flip up and the flip down, it was so in sync. And just the two of them were just so good together. And again, all four of them, because obviously it takes everyone involved, but it was just so smooth.
Mm-hmm. So ultimately, this leads towards shenanigans.
Yes. So at this point, the Judgment Day comes out. JD gets on the apron, and then you see Carlito come out this way, and then Rhea gets out of the ring, and she puts Carlito up on her shoulders and slams him into the apron, and that's when Liv comes in and does this beautiful the sunset Where,
Powerbomb.
Yes.
Yeah. Which honestly, she looked
hits
good.
the head on the barricade, and it's like, oh, that looked gnarly. It looks so good.
That's the type of stuff that Liv has to do. Like, she has to get in some crazy like offense, like I don't know, like suicide dive type offense where it's just like high flying. Because I think that's the only way. Like, I really like. All right, she's gonna beat down Rhea. Like she did. Like that was like she didn't see her coming. She did the sunset flip into the barricade. All right.
Yeah.
That adds a little bit more luster to the move, you know.
And then Priest is now looking at Rhea, like, because Rhea just took that move, and he's like, oh my god. Then he gets turned around, and then Finn comes in and does the sling blade. And then he gets on the ropes, and then they do the sling blade into Dom hits a 619. Then he goes up and hit the frog splash.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh my god, this is where he's gonna win. This is where he's gonna win. And like he kicked out, and I was like, even though I know this is the match we were wrong about because we did say that the heels were gonna to win, but I was like, not like this. I felt like I was like, not like this, damn it. But he kicked out, and then Finn starts directing traffic, and he tells Dom to tag in Liv because Rhea's still down. And it's like, what's going on there?
So that will be a topic. Hold that thought.
Hold that thought. We're going in. So then Liv goes diving through the ropes to hit Rhea, and she almost like dives completely over Rhea. So like Liv, Rhea kind of had to grab her. And then they're back in the ring, and then Then they're in the ring. She almost dies. So they go in there. Goes to hit. Rhea counters the Oblivion. Then JD McDonough's on the apron to like block because I think Rhea was going in for the Riptide. So then she's looking at JD, and then somehow Liv hits this half code breaker, half Oblivion spot, and now the women are down. So then they go to the outside. Then they pan to the boys on the outside. Priest takes out JD. He does like the pounce thing. Then he kicks Finn in the face, and Finn sells
after
it.
Carlito's electric chair drop with Rhea.
Yeah, he does that first.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that was before the sunset bomb.
Oh yes. Yeah. Carlito just got poor Carlito.
I know.
That's not cool.
So he kicks Finn. Finn sells it like he's been shot in the face. I was like, calm down, buddy. Then they.
I know. But that. All right. I'm gonna stop you right there because that annoyed me because after all this, after all Finn Balor's done, he gets a super kick party to the face, and that's enough to take him out. He's the guy who wants to screw over Priest every chance he gets, and this is enough for him to be like, yeah, I'm down. I don't. That kind of annoyed me.
So then they go up on the announce table, and basically, Priest hits this crazy lariat, and then like Dom does this twisting, spinning thing onto the table. So basically, that kills Dom. Liv is staring at like Dom just got lariated, and then Priest goes and points because Rhea's behind her. Liv turns around.
And great cinematography as usual with this whole.
Yeah, then Rhea hits the headbutt, and then hits the Riptide. 1, 2, 3. Terror Twins win. Then Rhea picks up Liv's hair, like picks her up, and then licks her face.
Which I'm sure is going to break the internet. The pin is going to break the internet first.
Oh yeah, that's also also Nick showed the clip of the press conference. Rosenberg asked, it was like, "What are you calling that pin?" And Priest says he calls that the "Take It Easy, Take It Easy" pin. And then Rhea said she calls it her pretzel pin. I'm like, Kyle. She's like, yeah, it's like a pretzel. I'm like, what pretzels are you eating, sister? But I love how Priest was like, I call it the "Take It Easy." And then at that point, like the Judgment Day walk off, Rhea smears her makeup and does more crotch chops to them. I don't know. I'm loving this, Rhea.
So, a lot of questions that I have about
Okay, I'm here for them.
So, well, first off, since we leave it up, well, there's a lot of comments. Let me get to the comments before I ask. Oh gosh. Javier said that was the loudest match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Louder than Gunther?
I have feelings about that.
I think because of the predictability. It could be. You could be right because of that.
I think during the match, they have their new little like noise level thermometer thing. And when she put on the scissor hold, that went over 100. I don't remember them. They did it for the entrance.
Yeah,
But that didn't come up during the match.
True.
So,
I don't
but
know.
they knew that spot was going to get the reaction.
So, my question is, now that we have them up on the screen, should the Terror Twins have gone over at Bash in Berlin? Because I feel like the Judgment Day, like everything, they were beating them up. They literally got 1 week of being on top, I think, with JD, with the new JD, and
Yeah.
I just don't know if this was the right idea. I get like Rhea and Priest are super strong, they're dominant, and you want their singles, main event world champion superstars. I think this is more trying to make Priest look even stronger
Yeah.
than anything. But like, I don't know. I felt like the win needed to go to JD more often, and now I'm really questioning where this is going to go, because like, how does Liv, unless maybe it's a twist to make like everything look weak and Liv's going to keep the title for a while, but like eventually Rhea's going to challenge Liv, and like in these situations where you had the whole group backing you up and you still couldn't win in these advantageous, circumstances, that it worries me.
Yeah, it's basically a 2-on-5. I don't know, because I called them that, like,
I think Javier's agreeing with me on this every time they need to win. I don't know if it's Judgment Day. I think Javier, I think you're talking about I don't know, maybe not JD, maybe you're talking but I don't know. I just don't think that.
I don't know, because we have Priest just losing the belt, and then Rhea needs to go for the belt, so I guess just keeping them strong. I don't know. I know we predicted the baddies to win, but I don't know. I'm not mad at this. Too much. It makes Judgment Day look bad, but is that the point? That these were your leaders, these were your strong ends, these was your muscle. You kick them out now. Look at it. You can't beat us. You can't win a match. Like, I get what you're saying, but it's still match of the night for me.
Yeah, I just felt like the win would have benefited the others more than them. So I'm not 100% sure. The other question is, you kind of touched on it with the Finn Balor situation. Does Tom's failure to put down Priest early with Balor's help cause a rift? Because his face after that whole situation.
Whose face?
Balor. I know it's like heel face, but like he's just like Liv. He pointed to Liv, and I know you and I were talking about, and you have your own theories, but I don't know. It could, like, I see a path with this group destroying this group as like the 2.0 Judgment Day is just like kind of like a failed experiment for a couple months that happens with Finn Balor as part of the storyline. Like, is like, the original Judgment Day breaks up. Balor's jealous of Priest, right? And these whole storylines, maybe to your point, like what we talked about all summer, like Liv ends up with Finn, and like Dom not being able to close the deal on Priest, who Finn hates and despises. And I think maybe there's some like other cheating going on behind the scenes, like, and like Finn's just like, oh, this guy's a baby, he's worthless.
He says there's no leaders. They're all leaders, but he barks out orders at everybody. He's the first one in the ring when they do their big group photo walk-in. They're saying he's definitely the de facto leader of this.
Yeah.
And then on Monday, he saved Liv. He's the one with the key card. He's the one they're sneaking around.
Yeah, it'll be real interesting to see. I'm curious. What do you all think? Do you think that this could be the beginning of the end for JD 2.0 already? Or is this more just a speed bump in their ultimate domination? Javier says he could watch the Terror Twins beat up the Judgment Day over and over.
I mean,
okay. Javier thinks it would be okay if JD got a push once the Judgment Day's over. I guess McDonough, the JD of the JD.
Yeah. In my notes, I have to put JDM. The difference from JD.
But yeah, ultimately, I'm not sure. I just think in this situation, it made more sense for the heels to go over. But I mean, I get it. There's still battles to be had. Like Finn still has to fight Priest. You still have to have Liv, Rhea 1-on-1, and technically the group didn't disband yet. I just don't know where. Typically you build up the faction. So like here it's just like, oh, we got 2 weeks of beating up, Priest and Finn, and that's pretty much it.
Well, they're still
Or getting beat up.
they're still the tag champs.
Yeah.
And then Dom's gonna be in the IC triple threat.
True. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm really feel like this one should have been a Judgment Day win. And I know it was a nice feel good moment with all the crowd being big and you give them the big moment, but give the heels a big win that could at least further the storyline. For this, PLA didn't really need to. No.
I like that match. I get it. I agree with you, but I don't know. It was a good match. I think they gave the people what they wanted. Everyone wanted to see Rhea stand tall.
Obviously, we can give the muscle Lord Marco a run at a mid-card title. Speaking of JD McDonough. Well, he's been taking a beating for everybody, so
Yeah.
To his credit. I don't know. I mean, but overall, again, I thought it was a solid match. A lot of craziness that happened.
I don't know. Match of the night for me. I very, very much loved the Drew Punk one, but I feel like this just edged it a little more for me.
That's fair. All right, so let's take it home, Nikki. We go to our main event of the evening. Are you ready for a little Gunther, Randy Orton action? So, Gunther, in his first official title defense as World Heavyweight Champion, has retained. Nikki, your takeaways from Gunther versus...
Shout out to Kaiser for doing the entrance. How they framed that with Samantha talking and then you just see his hand reach for the mic. Chef's kiss. I really didn't know what I was expecting from this match. I just said I wanted it to be better than their King of the Ring match because, God, Randy, keep your shoulder down. That looked terrible. I know he's Randy Orton, and I know he's going to get a lot of offense in, but was it too much offense? I feel like he dominated 90% of this match.
He did get a lot of offense in.
Like 3 slams into the announce table, then onto the step spot, then off the steps into the German announce table that broke it. I don't know.
Or is that just, again, them trying to build up Gunther that much more? What I love about this, you don't see this, but again, like, to use a Keith Lee, bask in your glory. Like, the beginning of the match, Gunther cracks a smile because you could tell he's just like, I made it. Like, this is it. Like, this is his moment, and they let him kind of just like soak it all in.
He breaks at the press conference. Some journalist tries to talk to him in German, and he just laughs. And I was like, he had like the cutest smile. I was like, be a happy pickle. But I don't know. Like, of course, it starts off. You get the chops. Well, it takes for Randy Orton takes 6,000 years to get in the ring. Like, literally, you called me, and I was like, we were on the phone for like.
I fast forwarded for 5 minutes. It was literally like 5 minutes.
And I was like, oh, Randy's just making his entrance. And then we talked. It's like 10 minutes later. I'm like, all right, well, he's still in the ring. Gunther hasn't come out yet. But then it's like typical Gunther, like the slaps and the chops. But then it's just like, then Randy takes over, and it's like, he's gonna go after the arm. And then it's Gunther wrestling with one arm the whole match. And I said, I just wanted to see Randy Orton get like powerbombed like 100 times. And then he couldn't even do that.
He did it once.
And it's just like,
And he did his one, and he did his splash.
He did the splash.
He did the splash just one time.
Yeah.
And in honor of it being Labor Day weekend, the last weekend of summer, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, let me just take this away. In honor of being summer, if you are a fan of Will Ferrell, this one's for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
It's been fun. Enjoy summer. I'm gonna miss it.
Oh, I'm tired of hot. But he did his T-Rex drop kick, and then he went to do the splash.
Why does he like? I guess maybe that's part of the. But he literally like, I call him like Nosferatu or like Dracula. Like he literally like has like everything about him is like a 1920s person. Like just like like he needs to drive like he needs to wear the top hat. Like remember they had not Rusev with Kozlov. Yeah, Kozlov with what's his name with Santino.
A little top hat.
Yeah, like they need to have him with that too. Like I just want. It's just I need him driving like a 1920s like Ford or whatever it was, 1940s Ford. Everything about Gunther is old school.
I don't know. I'm not saying like it was a good match, and there's a lot of like Randy taking out the arm, and then Gunther going after the neck and the back, and like so it made sense. I don't know. I'm just worried that like I want Gunther to be this dominant champion like he was at the IC, and I feel like again with the King of the Ring stuff, and then like I really didn't love the Mania match as much as I wanted to with him and Priest. And then I'm like, I just wanted him to have like this big definitive. No, I know I said on Friday that him beating Orton would be this huge thing. And again, we have to talk about the finish, but I'm worried. I just want him.
I don't know. I just
love, because I don't know. I love him too much, and I feel like it's. Again, we know it's Randy Orton. I know Randy Orton's supposed to get a lot of offense in.
I think it just makes him look stronger. You took a beating in your home. He probably wants it that way.
But then, so then do you want to go into the finish?
Yes. Go ahead. She's my color commentary.
I am. Am I your Corey? Are you the? If I'm Corey Graves, are you my Carmelo?
No.
No. Also, I don't know. They were whatever promo package they were doing about like bizarre relationships that they did for like Rhea and or Liv and Dom. Then they showed Corey Graves is doing the work, the announcing over it, and you see Carmella and Ellsworth, and he's like, "What did she ever see in him?" And I was like, "No." So basically, at that we talked about he got through the German announce table, and then Michael Cole again going crazy, screaming like, "You gotta get him back in the ring! You gotta get him in the ring! You can't win this way!" All right, Michael Cole, calm down. So Randy basically like pulls him back into the ring. So he's in the ring, and then Randy goes down. He's getting into his place to do the RKO. Gunther shoves him away, and then gets the sleeper on. And then Randy kind of pushes him into the corner and hitting him against the corner, but he doesn't. I'm sorry, just how we were thinking. I thought, is NXT on now? I thought it started at 8.
It might be a little early. Well, regardless, we're going. Well, we'll take it in.
Well, because I'm wearing my Joe Hendry shirt, so I don't want to miss that match. So I was just like, oh no.
You will not. We are going to open up.
Oh, it is on there.
Yeah. Well, we're going to open up the call line soon, so no worries. Regardless, keep going.
Sorry, here we go. So he puts him in the corner. He keeps the sleeper on. Randy breaks out of it. Then Gunther starts hitting him in the neck area, gets it back in. Then Randy gets him in the piggyback position and falls backwards. And then Gunther sits right back up and puts the sleeper back in again hitting the neck elbow area. This time he has the his legs around him, and then his hand goes limp. And then Little Nate calls the match that he's passed out. Gunther won. And I always have this again when we said with Swerve, like, is it? I don't know how I feel about it being him passing out than the 1, 2, 3, especially when he didn't get the 1, 2, 3 in King of the Ring.
What do you mean? I think I'd rather him pass out, because that's what faces do. They don't tap out; they pass out. And what I really loved about this is like, and of course I call him Dracula because he waked up from the dead, because he was down, and like it was such a it's a nuance that doesn't happen a lot, where like he woke back up. He got the hole was broken. He's like, no, and just jumps back up and locks it back in.
He like came up so quickly. It was just like, and that's when Wade was like, he's like, you can't recover from a sleeper hold like that, and like that's why he keeps applying the pressure. So I don't know. I just want more for him, I guess. Again, he got what I wanted. He beat Randy. I'm excited about that. I don't know.
I don't know. What did you all think? It was too predictable a match. I mean, there was a lot of destruction in this. Like, he was putting them through tables left and right.
Was it too much? Against Randy Orton, I know he's gonna get.
No, he's got to get in all his spots.
I also feel like I don't know. Was it a little long for you? When I rewatched it today, and I was like,
does it seem long if you know if you think you know what's gonna happen? Then maybe.
I don't know. I kind of feel like the first one. No, it's definitely better than Cody KO. I like this match more. Was it a smidge too much?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because like now
the PLE itself was only like it was under 3 hours, I think. Still,
it was 250.
Yeah, so still.
No, agreed. I don't know. I guess I worry about it. I just flashbacks to Randy and Edge with their longest match ever. That was dog shit.
He's got his tinfoil hat on for you, Javier. We're open up for all you guys coming in. We're opening up the phone lines in about probably like a minute or two.
Yeah.
You'll know we got our little intro to open up the phone lines. So.
I don't know. It feels like a smidge too much to me, but again, good match. I got the result I wanted. I hope he opens Raw, like, and then with what Punk said at his little interview. I don't want to see Punk Gunther right now.
That's probably the cat.
No problem. I don't know.
But yeah, we want to hear from all you. What'd you think of this match? What'd you think overall of Bash in Berlin? Are you a fan? Too predictable? Hot crowd?
Hot crowd.
This definitely was a hot crowd.
Was it? Do you think it was better than in France? Lyon?
I think no. I think France was big. It was hotter because it might have been a smaller arena.
I think it was smaller, yeah.
And so it's gonna be louder. And also, I just get the feeling that, like, you have I think the spillover from WrestleMania. Talking my hands. And I think the spillover from WrestleMania ultimately keeps momentum. Like here, I guess you still have spillover from SummerSlam, but SummerSlam's a lot less luster than WrestleMania does. In terms of like, it's WrestleMania light, but it's never gonna
hot WrestleMania.
Yeah, hot WrestleMania. So I don't know. But I think overall, yeah, it was great. I mean, like, again, like, there's things that, like, to me, like, this PLE, it was very much, I don't want to say, like, it was, I think I would give it a B+, and I think it was escalated by the fact that the crowd was so hot that the crowd could take like a C+ show and take it to a B+.
I wouldn't call this a C.
No. I think it was above average to good. I don't know. But it goes. Like the crowd amplifies it for me. Yeah. I don't know. That's just kind of how I
Well, instead of us saying, I don't know, why don't you call us and tell us what you're thinking?
Yeah. Well, excuse me, great segue, Nikki. We are going to open up the phone lines as we get you ready here, and as you're probably simultaneously also watching NXT.
I really thought it started at 8.
Yeah, I probably would have booked things a little differerly. But that being said, the phone lines are now. Oh, actually, let me do this. Let me leave this up so that everyone's coming in. But is there a little chime if I find it? Because I have a million videos now and I can't find it. Oh, here we go. So the phone lines are now open. All right. Phone lines are now open. So we bring him in. He's going by the Planet Texas podcast. Welcome in. What are you thinking? What are you drinking, sir?
What do you got going, buddies? How's it going today?
Good, good. How are you? Happy Sunday fun day. Cheers.
Well, first I got some Lone Stars because I may have a sponsorship, so I can only be drinking Lone Star.
Oh, nice. Nice. Stuff there.
Can only be drinking Lone Star. Yeah, so
Nice.
I'm over here watching NXT. It's just so you know, Nikki, it's on.
I really thought it started on an 8. I would have had him move it up.
It's okay.
Yeah, it happens.
So I have my tinfoil hat on today, and I made the post on X. I believe in Joe Henry, and I believe he's going to win.
You know, I tend to agree.
Where am I? I believe in Joe Hendry.
I see it. It's a nice T-shirt. Nice
Hold on,
T-shirt.
We got you on this one. Hold
Oh, it's too loud.
on. I know it's too low. I got to get a new drop of it.
No, I don't know. Do you think they'll really put the belt on TNA, a contracted TNA person?
Yes, and I could tell you why.
Like,
Because it's my tinfoil hat.
yeah.
It's my fairy tale imaginary world that I'm living in. So imagine in Slammiversary, we're getting AJ Styles versus the Moose.
Mm-hmm. So is this imagine or like
Reality.
was this just? So wait, has it been announced?
No, it hasn't been announced.
Oh, you're theoretically okay. Yes.
I'm doing theoretically, but I'm pretty sure that making this deal with Joe Henry with TNA probably ensures that he's going to end up with the NXT championship, and you'll see it on TNA television.
I would love it because I honestly think they well. First off, I think he's eventually going to come to WWE. Jordan Grace is inevitable, and there's a few people I feel like that they always eye the TNA people more than most. So I think that this, especially with all the Forbidden Door stuff that's happened in the last couple of years, WWE needs that.
I think they actually have like a handshake deal with TNA. To be completely honest with you, I believe they're just like, before you look elsewhere, come call us first.
Yeah.
So,
well, if you remember, back in the day in the 90s with Paul Heyman and ECW, that was Vince and Paul had a kind of a handshake deal with a lot of the talent. So I could totally see that still happening today. Things are very cyclical and business wise, I could so see it going back to that.
yeah, but I think like, oh man, it's like we've been watching so many of these crossovers. Like I've been watching wrestling again since these crossovers have been happening. Like AEW had it and it was pretty good for a while, but it's AEW and they always find a way to mess it up in my eyes.
I worry that TNA is kind of definitely getting the short end of the stick here. Like what we've sent to them, like we're getting their top stars. They're getting NXT kids.
I think this is going to be the moment where all that pays off. I think this is the moment where it all pays off right here today.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, right? You get like what's his name? William Regal's son. Like, I get it. Like, but like, there's some people that like they're underutilized talents that could use more seasoning. And yeah, if you get like to me, like kind of somewhat to Nikki's point to expand on, like if I send you a mid to lower tier, lower card guy on my card to your show, and you're going to put them, he or she, in an upper mid card or main event spot, they look stronger because of it. You know, like it really doesn't benefit as much TNA in that scenario.
I think William Regal's son is actually a future world champion. I know people are like, no, but I think he is a future world champion.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think giving like 5+ years.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, so young, right? Like, you can't really tell at this age.
I think that's the difference, though. It's like he's in the developmental, and we're sending Charlie down there, and we're getting their women's world champion. Like, we're getting Jordan Grace, and like you're, getting our up and coming people when we're getting your established people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like, I like Charlie Dempsey a lot. I think he'll be.
And I'm also surprised that people aren't talking about the battle lines that are being drawn. I like to think there's a battle lines being drawn with WWE and AEW.
Well, I feel like the person I think that gets really upset is Tony Khan about it. I don't think anyone else like really gets like Triple H makes comments, but he's like a for lack of a better word, like a politician. He's done it for so long. Like Tony just like wears his emotions on his sleeve all the time, that some of these situations, it's like, I don't know, like he just gets too in his head, and then it's like, oh well, like the Dragon Lee signing, and there was a couple other like who just signed us? Was it Stephanie Vaquer and but there was another one that just signed too that he was complaining about. Like it was like,
well, the one that really burned him was Stephanie Vaquer. That was the one that really like chapped his ass. I don't know if we can use profanity on the show.
Yeah, no, it's a bar show, so we're having.
Yeah, that's the one that really chapped their ass, because like she was a double champion.
Yeah,
she was a double champion at that point in time, and she was supposed to be on AEW shows.
Yeah, I get. Well, I think that one, and then like, but then also like the Ospreay stuff, that was awful. That Ospreay promo, like that whole like after WrestleMania, the Triple H McAfee incident. But like, it's just like he takes the bait every chance he gets.
And like, I guess he's also worried about Lucha Brothers.
But you know what? I think he honestly is a wrestling fan, and he has he's not educated in the wrestling business. Like I'm not either. But I can certainly tell you that this dude is a wrestling fan, and he's just playing with daddy's money is what it really seems like at this point.
Oh yeah. With that joke of like Toy Story of like, who's this toy of the month.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. Like, it makes me wonder, like when is it really going to get serious in AEW? Like when is Shada Khan, his father, the actual the actual owner of AEW, yeah. When is he gonna show up and be like, "What the hell are you doing with my money?"
Yeah. Eventually, you got to turn a profit, right? Like,
well, not even that. Like, eventually, you just gotta like show some production. Like, just like be productive in what you're doing.
But to be fair though, the Jacksonville Jaguars are awful too. So, I mean,
yeah, but
they haven't done much either.
But like how much money do you spend? When this is like a billionaire family, like they have like more money than they know what to do with before they really start noticing that the money is just being thrown away. Like it's just throw it in the air, it's gone.
Like the Okada and Mercedes sign. Like I know I get Okada's a great wrestler. I get like Mercedes, but like. How are you going to move the needle with these people? Like that's the thing, like that was my whole thing. It's like you're going to spend $4.5 million a year that they spend on Okada, and like to do what? To have him hug Orange Cassidy in a gauntlet match, and to win one of the 12 meaningless titles that they have.
The sad part is these people that they're signing are needle movers. They really are, and they're just not. They're not in the main event scene. They're not. They're like mid-card title people is what they placed them as. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. You just took the Rainmaker and you're having them play with keyboards and pretend you're crying. You know,
the top guy in New Japan for how long? And you have him as a comedy act.
Yeah.
People shit on TNA for so long. Like they made him as like Kato. I was like, was this any better?
I'd rather have Kato. At least Kato would be like, you had Samoa Joe and everybody else.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't want to feel like, because again, I want to support all wrestling and having people have opportunities, and that's why people are getting these big contracts. So I want them to do good. Tony needs more advisors, I guess. I was hoping Bryan Danielson would, him being a backstage person, with Mox. I don't know, Chris. I'm really hating Chris Jericho right now.
You don't like the learning tree?
Oh, I hate it.
Hates I love it. I torture her every time.
Bananas. I just feel like there's just so many other better Jericho versions, and this one is just not. And like we put a pay-per-view on to go to bed every night. Like we've been on the run. We were watching like No Mercies. For NXT, and it's just like, oh, there are so many better Jericho versions, and now
there's been so many versions of Jericho. But regardless,
this one's not.
We digress. Well, hey, so you go by Planet Texas Podcast. Before we let you go, last shot, and then obviously you got a great podcast here if you want to promote before we let you go.
Of course, Nick and Nikki, y'all are welcome to come on my show and talk about some wrestling.
Absolutely, by all means, the door's always open.
You're all welcome.
Our prohibited portal.
Of course. This is the open portal. And also, shout out to my boy. He's also running around. He's been muted the whole time. Hitting the Ropes podcast. He's fixing to get started on his own podcast.
Yeah.
So I told him to come on.
Yeah, we actually, one of our next up in line, actually, ironically.
Yeah. I'm showing him how to do this stuff. This is how we're supposed to be doing it the right way.
Awesome, man. Well, pleasure having you. Again, we're here normally, obviously, PLE, kind of unique, but we're here every Friday at 6, so feel free to come back on. We love having you guys.
Of course. All right then, I'm gonna let you go, bud.
All right, take care. Well, cheers.
Thank you.
Sure. Cut off. Next up, Nikki, you ready? We have Hitting the Ropes. Welcome in. What are you drinking? What are you thinking?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you? Thanks for.
I'm doing pretty good, actually.
Awesome. So what are you thinking here this week? What do we call it? Hitting the Ropes, or do you go by a name that we a little shorter? HTR.
Why am I getting so much audio? Hold on 1 second here.
Interesting.
What?
Oh, pull him out, pull him back in 2 seconds. We'll let him work off that. In the meantime, we'll just throw a little Gunther back.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
Oh God.
I honestly making that made my heart happy. It made me sad because summer's over, but
it's definitely over.
It definitely made me happy.
September 22nd is the end of summer. You've got
yeah, you might have. What might have happened is you might need to mute the. Yeah, thanks, Javier. You might need to mute. I can't talk. Mute the YouTube stream. Yes, if you're watching live, mute the YouTube stream to call in. Fun. These are fun technical. Yes, our dog is enjoying himself right now. He's past PTFO. But yeah.
So then I'm trying to think what the card is. It was Chasey was defending the belts against who?
Oh gosh. Well, I'll pull it up. Hold on.
I don't remember. To be honest, I don't keep up on NXT. I kind of just watch the Joe Hendry stuff. Or listen to another podcast that's called Shout Out to
Wesley against Zach Wentz.
Oh yeah, because they turned. It's so weird that he's back in NXT because they fired him and now he's back. And then Wesley is the one that to turn on them. And the Rascals.
Rascal Flats. Life
Yeah,
is
and
life
then,
is a
like,
highway.
I'm not a Roxanne Perez. I can't stand. I cannot stand her remotely, and she's going against the girl that I didn't think was
Javier is just talking smack on the callers. Hey, listen, we always start somewhere, but listen, we do this every Friday, so you can practice every Friday at 6. We usually start doing call-ins around probably 6:45.
depending on how much I talk about the Judgment Day.
Yeah, depending on how much Liv Morgan good screenshots we could throw up there.
My foot just fell
Clickbait.
asleep.
All right, he's back on. Second time's a charm. Hitting the ropes. Let's see
Hey,
if it
how's it
works.
going, guys?
There
Sorry
he
about
is.
that.
We got
Yeah,
it.
my yeah, I have some audio issues, but I got that. How's it going?
Did it. Listen, technical. We're all learning here as we go. It's one of those.
It's going pretty good. Yeah,
So-
Bash in Berlin. I thought Bash in Berlin was absolutely one of the top. That match, absolutely amazing.
Which one? The Gunther one or the Liv Morgan one?
Well, both of them. Both of them were amazing, actually.
I mean, I thought they're all were solid. Did one stand out more, like most to you than others? Like to me, again, like the Punk match, I thought was hands down. Maybe it's just because like I like brutality, but
The Punk and Drew match. I mean, that one was kind of like a match that I thought was gonna be good, but it blew my mind how good that match was actually.
well, see, like you're gonna get that though. I feel like with those two guys, like Punk's Punk, arguably a top 10, like definitely a top 10 in the last 10, 15, 20 years, right? And
Well, gone
McIntyre.
for 8 of it.
Well, yeah, but like all right, 30 years, top 10, top 15, at least popular. I think that's fair. And like McIntyre has been around for now close to 15 years and in the scene, at least doing things. So like I feel like you weren't going to be disappointed with what they would give you. You know what I mean?
Yes, I mean, no, the we're seeing a strap match. That's a match that we don't see very often in WWE at all.
Yeah, it's unique to like again, like everyone goes to hardcore. Like when the last time? Well, we've talked about
We
this
tried
last.
to do that before, and I guess and they were saying that Punk had the strap match in OVW. He had the strap match, the Samoan strap match with Umaga, RIP. That like this is his match, so he's won 3 of them. We were talking about the difference between this and the bull rope match because we're talking about like obviously that was that one. Then you had Eddie JBL. Then there was the one that we brought that came up that was like really recent that we didn't remember.
Oh yeah, now I'm blanking on it. Oh, all these blend into
I
one.
don't know. Go back and listen to Friday's one.
Yeah, now I need to go.
But I like that it was something different because I know like another caller was like, "Oh, it should just be like an Extreme Rules match." I like that this was something different, and like what they did the outside spots and through the tables and all that stuff and the chair shots, but like it having to be confined in the ring to hit the 4 corners. I like that it was different than let's just brawl in the crowd.
Well, the neat part about it that I thought the reason I really got into it is because of the like. Again, I thought it was kind of lame, but whatever. Like it's a storyline. The bracelet, like, and making this a strap match actually was a nice tie-in. Like, how many times have you seen like I feel like we haven't done it yet, but like Liv Morgan won the world title because of the chair, and like that's like her go-to weapon now. So like we'll see some sort of it's gonna be a TLC, but I'm sure like if they do a Hell in a Cell with her and Rhea, there's gonna be some chair involved. You know what I mean? Like this was a good. It was a good stipulation. Like it worked out nicely with everything that the background story was. So that's kind of what made it neat for me. So, girls. So, what else you got for us? Any other thoughts on the?
Well, Punk, Gunther and Drew have been around for a long time. These guys are like veterans in the locker room. What they could do in a match and they showed us last night what they can do in a match. These guys are Hall of Famers.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Punk is. I don't know if Mac.
Of all the Coco Beware is in the
Yeah, but
Hall of
Coco
Fame.
Beware came in the '90s when
Yeah,
not
but
everyone
Drew was
wanted
your,
titles.
that's the whole thing. You chose nostalgia over the warrior that got you through the dark times. He was the pandemic guy. And again, his promo on Monday was incredible. I think this run, obviously going back to the Chosen 1 and 3MB and all that bullshit. But this version of Drew, the version of Drew that we'll get for the next 5+ years, you don't think so?
Maybe I don't know, because and we were crapping on Tony Khan for having so many belts, but nowadays winning even a world title is so diminished because there's 2 world titles.
Oh my god, you're turning on your ass right now.
There's 2 world titles.
I know there is, but you're saying Drew McIntyre is not a Hall of Famer?
I say he's borderline. I get borderline.
Out of your fucking mind.
I'm saying borderline. See now, Dunn did it.
Dunn did what? You're talking like a crazy person.
Over what? He's got 1 world title reign, right? 1, 2. Okay, 2.
There's gonna be more in there. I can't believe you just said that.
I don't think 2 merits. Sid Vicious, who's got 3? I think he's got 3.
Yeah,
Sid deserves it.
Coco Beware. Sid's definitely going in this year.
Oh yeah,
unfortunately.
And also the storylines that WWE been doing lately have been.
Yeah, they've been phenomenal. Honestly, well, that's the thing. It's and this is what I really like about so I read Jim Ross's book and listened to his podcast a lot, and a lot of his Grilling JR stuff is his belief when he was in what was he, the head of creative? No, talent relations. But his belief even in wrestling is coming from where he came from, right? Was that you don't need the belt to have the storyline to make the match mean something. You just need a rivalry that's rooted in hatred for each other, for some grudge match. And that's what this was, and we're starting to see that the Liv Dom stuff, with Rhea, that whole storyline's betrayals, all that stuff. Granted, there's belts involved in some of it, but a lot of it, but you don't need the belt to make the match a pay-per-view worthy match.
I made that point earlier about the women's division. It's a title or nothing when you could be having storylines about just a blood feud.
No, for sure. So I don't know.
I still can't believe you said Drew's not Hall of Fame.
It's going to be a debate. We're going to have to make that a show, debating Hall of Fame ballots. That should be actually maybe.
Next year Sid Vicious got to go in Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I honestly
Master of the Universe.
Wasn't.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he wasn't already. Someone probably hated him. Vince. Well, before we let you go, we call this your last shot. So what else you got for us? And obviously, where can everyone find you? Hopefully, we catch you back here next week, Friday at 6.
Yeah. I'm just looking forward to those storylines. WE storylines since Vince is gone has been remarkable. I'm just really looking forward to what they can do with all these wrestlers they have on contract and what the kind of storylines they can push on to make them great.
Yeah, that's the thing. WWE, AEW, the talent's there. There's a lot of great talent on both rosters. Now it's up to creative. And I remember I went to an indie show this was 10 years ago, and I was covering it for the local newspaper, and talking to the booker there, it was funny. He was the guy who ran the show, and he was just oh, well, and obviously these indie shows, it's all ex WWE, whoever who goes, and it's well, why are you here? Well, creative had nothing for me. Well, what happens? Creative should have something for everybody. It's that whole excuse. Well, what happens when to creative when creative has nothing? There should be content. You should be able to write people into a good storyline. WWE hired Freddie Prinze Jr. because they felt like they needed to have some sort of storyline telling. I don't think, and honestly, it wasn't that bad. I don't think Freddie Prinze Jr. was that bad of a writer for the company. But that's kind of, there is some theatrical element of the storytelling, the writing, and the creative that needs to be there. And now, yeah, you can have the talent, but you need to have the storyline that backs up, that makes me want to buy the PLA. So, well, okay.
All right,
you
well,
gotta-
thank you guys for letting me on here today.
Hey, pleasure. Pleasure is ours. Well, cheers. We'll catch you next time.
Oh, definitely.
Hitting the ropes. We'll see you
All right. Talk to you
online.
later.
You, sir, are cut off. Pleasure having you. Let's get through some last minute
comments, and I'm gonna run upstairs. Well, I gotta take our usual thing is like we go into SmackDown. It's like get some snacks, take you and your dog out. Ours is passed out.
I know. Well, being a Sunday fun day. This is,
yeah, and we're off tomorrow. Thank the Lord.
I know.
I'm
I'm very,
to go to the office tomorrow.
very happy about Labor Day being off. Well, if you make sure you hit the old like on the stream. Goes a long way. Subscribe if you are new here. We're here, as the banner shows that I didn't put up enough of this show. We're here Fridays at 6 Eastern time, whatever that equates to you locally. So, thank you again for joining us. Like that through the mask. Obviously, Punk must really like this strap on. Yes.
Ed made that.
Okay. I know. Where's Ed and pseudo Steven? Awesome. Well put. So I think we've had a new custom. The only way to take us out is to have our not so CCO Paul Levesque.
Paul Levesque, you say it weird every week.
Well, because I say it like the soup.
Paul
like
Levesque.
shrimp bisque.
Paul Levesque.
Shrimp bisque. Paul Levesque.
Levesque.
Whatever. I'm doing it in my way. Anyway, he's going to take us home and say it only so eloquently.
Thought we had a spectacular event tonight. Very excited that so far everybody seems to have come out unscathed, banged up, bumps and bruises, but nobody seriously injured, which I always hold my breath on these events. You want to see people have the best outing that they can possibly have and make memories, but do it safely. And we were able to do that tonight.
Another one unscathed. Came out unscathed.
Oh.
Really proud of you.
Proud of you.
Proud of us all. Well, this has been a blast. We hope you enjoyed Bash in Berlin. We hope you enjoyed the show and this recapping it. We hope you're enjoying the beginning of NXT, as we're gonna catch up on it.
Yeah.
A little error on our part. But if you want to catch us, we're back here Friday at 6. We will see you then. Maybe we'll have a new NXT champion.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
But until next time, you do not have to go home.
But you can't stay here. Bye.